Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Now, normally on a Tuesday we check out hardcore bands, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to check out some metalcore bands with a hardcore edge to their music. And we're going to check out this first band. I found this band actually via a Facebook ad. Now, I usually block all Facebook ads because it's usually something I'm totally not interested in. But just recently, maybe because I've followed so many groups on Facebook now, Facebook's actually been giving me ads of stuff I might actually be interested in, different VSTs and mixing stuff, or different heavy bands. And this was a heavy band that had been putting out an advert through Facebook, and it got to me. It was pretty cool, and I thought, we'll add those guys straight to the list. So sometimes Facebook ads can be pretty cool. In this case, they were. This is a band called P.U.L.S.E. I think they're out of the UK as well. The track's called Purity, and it's featuring Jack Dunn of Creek. It's got an official vid and everything. These guys sound really heavy, so I was like, yeah, let's get them on the show. Mixing it up. Yeah. Crazy guitar tone. These guys are all over the place with the riffs and the mix-ups. Yeah. Dope. Yeah, man. This guy's got a lot going on. Really dope. These guys are thinking outside the box. Very much so. I really enjoyed that, and I had no idea what was going on for most of the time. These guys are all over the place with their mix-ups, really kind of just throwing in a bunch of different styles and edges and stuff into this one, and that breaking it down into that melodic section with atmospheric synthy parts as well. These guys thought this track through. This wasn't just a typical kind of metalcore-y, modern metalcore track, just going through the motions. These guys thought outside the box. They brought in things and caught you off guard that you weren't expecting. Really great guitar tone as well. Looked like those baritone jazz masters, which we know from our friends It Follows. They've got a great tone, real stringy, almost like a bassy tone to them, but with a real stringiness and a bitiness, and with those tight modern guitar tones as well. You get that kind of bound to it, but it just sounded great. Really kind of original, different kind of sound and guitar tone, which gives the music a different and original sound as well. Great vocal, heavy vocal, nice melodic, singy, atmospheric part as well. Thought that was cool. Totally caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. It sounded really cool. It was a nice kind of pause and break within the track. So yeah, this one really had a lot going on. You're gonna have to listen to that one again to kind of figure it all out and capture it all on your ear. Very, very cool. Now, let's move on to this next band. This is Sky Collapse. The track is A Year in Void. Let's give it a spin.
Turn is there remains so far from those better days. These almost days of misery. Yeah, when the more lights are ground. That's why I want
that bass nicely in the mix.
All the time of falling down. So far from those better days. I saw myself on the edge of self-destruction. So fuck all those better days. I saw myself on the edge of self-destruction.
Yeah. Nice drum. Say a nice hardcore edge to these bands today. It's not hardcore, it is metalcore. It's got a hardcore edge to it, you know, that's the core part. The vocal.
That's what I want for that earth. All the time of falling down. So far
don't drum it.
I saw myself on the edge of self-destruction. So fuck all those better days. I saw myself on the edge of self-destruction. So now I'm asking you to never try to touch my breath. Never try to feel my pain. Never try to touch my breath.
Great cymbal sound, but it's kind of rare. Fill out that high end with a big ass wash. Sounds great, balances out the mix. one. Loud, wide, heavy mix. Great energy in the music, I thought, on this one. The drummer was just killing it all the way through. Great drum beats, mixing it up across the cymbals, tinging on the ride, all the good stuff. Big long-ass rolls down all his toms. It sounded great. And working the cymbals in the right way, as I say, to give that high end a wash and the chuggy breakdown part. So it's got that bounce to it still. Just work the drums in all the right ways. But yeah, really like this one. Heavy vocal with a nice hardcore edge, bit of group vocal in there as well, which is a nice hardcore edge to bring into the vocal, but still in the riffs and stuff with that kind of more classic, now is coming up to classic 20-year-old kind of riffy metalcore, that kind of stuff, you know, and then a nice chuggy breakdown part. So yeah, dope, loved it, great sound. This is our friends, the Delirium Effect, although we haven't had these guys on the show since last April, which does seem a hell of a long time ago now. This is featuring David Simonich, the third, apparently, from the Signs of the Swarm. We've had those on the channel as well. This is a 6-minute track. So, get a bit comfy. Let's check this one out. Sound. Again, loud. Nice bass guitar. Yeah. Ooh, nice bass. Yeah. This track's interesting because it has actually got a lot of dead space in it. You know, there's like pauses between the riffs, pauses between the drum beats. Pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of pauses and breaks and kind of leaving an empty space in the mix so that when it does come in, it hits even harder. Gives it an atmosphere as well. Yeah, man, this one's got a real atmosphere to it as well as the heaviness. It's an interesting track. Yeah. Sick. Cool video as well for this one. Although you should know by now, if you're going to make your own Frankenstein monster, it's not going to end well. That was dope. Now that was a really different, interesting track that I enjoyed on a more of a level than just, you know, listening to the music, the way it was composed. And I think they really did it with an intention as well, to have silence as being an element of this track. It was a big element of this track, you know, pauses, silence, pulling the guitars out to just the drums, pulling it right back to just an atmospheric sound, even just a whisper on the vocal. So it was really a contrasted track between silence and heaviness. And I think it just came across really, really great, and especially in a 6-minute track as well, to fill out that much time with kind of a track with a theme like that, you know, can go wrong, but it went really well. I think it was like it was kind of like day and night, stark contrast, light and dark, and I'm sure that's the kind of thing that they were going for with this one, to have that edge of silence within the mix, and it really came across hard as well. You know, you wouldn't think silence could come across hard, but it did, because it went from heaviness to pulling everything out the mix in silence, or a pause, or just down to a really atmospheric sound, and it just kind of pulled all the weight and the power out of the mix into the silence, and that meant that the silence actually hit hard. And then when the heaviness came back in, that hit hard because it was contrasted against the silence. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, very, very cool way to write a track. Came across well. The guitar tone and everything, because it was nice and tight, worked out. If you had more dirty, kind of fuzzed out guitar tone, I don't think it would have worked as well. You need a nice tight guitar tone so that it stops. You know, the stop in this track was kind of the hard hitting part of it as well. So you need a guitar tone that stops on the beat, you know. Dope. I thought it was really, really cool. The two vocals as well was cool. You know, weaving in and out the two vocals, very, very nice. So I think we've had some dope bands on today, a bunch of kind of stuff you wouldn't normally think would go together, and it's worked out really great. First band, P.U.L.S.E, just totally caught me off guard. I'm gonna have to listen to that track again to even understand what was going on, because that was modern as hell, with a gentiness, with a modern guitar tone, with a uniqueness to it as well, but really working us through a bunch of different areas and styles and energies within the track. And then these other two bands have done that as well. I think they're kind of catching you off guard with things you don't necessarily normally expect in this kind of music, hardcore vocals, and then this last band just kind of mixing it up so you don't really know what's going on, bringing in that silence, big long pauses and contrasting against the silence. Dope. So there you go, 3 modern bands to check out, all kicking it in a different way, but with a nice metalcore-y, hardcore-y way as well. Dope. Hope you've enjoyed that, guys. Give us a like if you've enjoyed the video. See you around. Bye.